Hello and welcome to another adventure here on Skyride Adventures. This time I find myself in beautiful Palm Beach, Florida, where I'm about to step inside one of the finest surviving examples of American Gilded Age, the Henry Flagler Museum, also known as Whitehall. Flagler completed this in 1902 and it was meant to be a lavish winter home for his wife. It's an extraordinary mansion and it reflects an era of incredible wealth, elegance, and craftsmanship. Henry Flagler himself was a co-founder of Standard Oil alongside John D. Rockefeller, but his vision extended far beyond the oil industry. In his 50s, with the Florida East Coast Railway and a series of luxury hotels, he transformed Florida into the destination millions of people visit every year. This home is a tribute to the Gilded Age. Let's go check it out.
We have our next live tour at 2 o'clock. It's about 1 hour of the first floor of the home. Or we have our website, which you can pull up on your phone, and it has audio, text, photos, and a map.
Cool. Can I get one of these maps?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just freewheel around and take a look around?
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and then if you have
Where's
any
my
questions,
room?
let us know. Upstairs to the left.
Upstairs to the left? Right on. I just got here, so I'm going to take a look. Send someone up with some food for me. Alrighty. Complete opulence, man. Ooh. The dome. Alright. You can use a camera, but no tripod. Look at this thing. I need a clock with a bell. Make it over the top. I'm going to put it right here. Looks like here's the man. He's got a little more money than I do. Did, at least. I'm sure he was a fine art lover as well. Is that the Madonna? Here's his old lady. Hey! She was probably a pretty happy wife. Not much of a looker, but it's terrible to say. Okay, just off the Grand Hall is the library, and it was designed and decorated by Portico Entrance. It's the Italian Renaissance style. It allowed him to get his business associates and guests in a different room from the Grand Hall. And everywhere you look, you find these amazing bronze figurines and these marble busts. This book caught my attention by Perry Belmont. He was apparently a very close associate with Flagler. And then throughout the room itself, there were portraits of Flagler's family and this amazing red marble fireplace reminded me of another video I've seen online. But Henry Flagler right there, square and center. On the left is his wife and on the right was his father. And then what's important that I noticed is that the way that they painted the library's cast plaster and fabric ceiling, it made it look like wood beams with leather inserts. And this was a common practice. I am now entering the music hall and I'm instantly drawn to this chandelier and the incredible mosaic behind it. As I take a look here on the left, this is the Lady in Veil. It's an amazing marble sculpture that looks like a real veil has been draped over her face. And again, this was an entertaining room, so lots of seating. And I look up again at the ceilings and I see the incredible detail in the woodwork here, as well as that mosaic of Aurora by Guido Reni's. It's a famous masterpiece illuminated, I think, by a hidden electric lighting, which is remarkably modern for the 1902. And again, here is the masterpiece, the centerpiece, this Odell pipe organ. They hired resident organists performed here each season while guests enjoyed concerts and afternoon teas, bridge parties. It was Mary Lily Flagler's fortnightly club. I'm entering South Hall, and I noticed that the barrel ceiling had that indirect electric lighting, which was extremely rare for 1902. Now I'm walking right into the grand ballroom, and these people like to party. My God, the sound in the room just resonated. Every little bit as I walked, I could hear. So I can imagine how big and loud these rooms must have been. This photograph was taken in 1903, and it was of the Bal Poudre. It was in honor of George Washington's birthday, and described by the paper as one of the greatest spectacular social events ever held in Florida. Looking around this room, it's easy to see why. What to let one fly in here. Totally resound. Resonate. Honey, I'm in the South Hall. Where are you? She's a block and a half away, but still in the house. After dinner, it was time for the men to retreat into the billiards room. This is where they came to relax, socialize, smoke cigars, and play a game of billiards, which was a favorite pastime of the Gilded Age, and nearly every estate of the era had a room like this. However, the craftsmanship in this room is quite impressive. Lavish furnishings, the pool table bases were a deep mahogany, the cane stone fireplace, as well as the plaster ceiling that had been painted to resemble a rich zebra oak. The whole room was definitely lavish, and it would have been enjoyable to hang out in. I'm now walking into Whitehall. This was the hotel edition. So when the Flaglers passed, Mary Lily's niece inherited the estate and then sold it to investors who opened it up into a hotel in 1925. But by 1959, the hotel was in financial distress, and the entire complex was in danger of being demolished. So Henry Flagler's granddaughter, Jean Flagler, purchased the property and formed a nonprofit corporation and called it the Henry Morrison Flagler Museum, which is what is open to the public today. I found this hallway around the corner and its display of all the elegant tea sets and silverware that the guests were made available to use. It just reflects the Gilded Age in every bit. Tea was more than a drink back then, it was a social event. So these elaborate tea sets were made to impress, and they certainly did. Walking past these cabinets, you start to realize just how much attention was really given to every detail. It was polished silver, delicate crystal, elegant china. Even the serving spoons were part of a carefully planned dining experience. These grape-seeded stemware glasses caught my eye. It was just cool to see up close the attention to detail that they had. This is the Whitehall dining room, and it was designed in a French Renaissance style, supposedly reminiscent of a royal hunting lodge. Flagler and his guests entertained large parties in this room for lengthy, elegant dinners. The rug was specifically woven for the room, and it recessed into the parquet floor. The wall coverings are like this green silk, reproduced from the original fabrics. The room's most prominent features include that ornate cast plaster ceiling and the fireplace marble. Right next to the dining room is the breakfast room, where Flagler had more intimate meals, and the butlers and staff had separate entrances. Check this out. Look at that piano. Yeah, I walked into the drawing room where Mary Lily would entertain her female guests. It's all adorned in this Louis XVI style and had this incredible wallpaper, silk wallpaper fabric. And I noticed that above each door there seemed to be a cameo of Marie Antoinette. This is classic Gilded Age women's society. Interesting note, the aluminum leaf highlights For much of the Gilded Age, the process of extracting aluminum economically hadn't been perfected, and as a result, the aluminum was more expensive and precious than gold. Here I am making my way up to the second floor, avoiding a large crowd in the Grand Hall. Upstairs, I believe, is the history room, a colonial chamber, 5 guest bedrooms, and the master suite. Let's walk down this. Hey, lady. What's wrong with your head? Okay, down the hallway is a history room, and it pretty much celebrates Flagler's contribution to bringing Florida as a world destination resort through luxury hotels. He looks pretty shrewd in this picture, but with the existence of the Florida East Coast Railway, he connected all of Florida, brought in these luxury hotels, and really transformed it internationally as well as national. This gold coin is representing Ponce de Leon, a hotel that he opened. These are waiter badges that they were going to use. This is a tea set from Tiffany & Company, gold plated. So it was pure luxury throughout the entire existence of these hotels. And it truly shows, and it really just personifies the fact that even though he made his money in Standard Oil, he continued throughout his career, even after his retirement, promoting Florida. Walking down the hallway here to the 5 guest bedrooms, each one was separated by a double privacy door and had its own private bath and closet. This is the green room. Notice the wall is covered in this fine silk fabric, the green carpet and the green trim on the bed spread there. Flagler was from New York, so this is a picture of New York Harbor at the time, and leads us into the Colonial Room, which to me felt the most simplistic so far, and all this furniture came from Flagler's house in New York. So it had more of the early 19th century, but yet, more refined, of course, but simpler than the Gilded Age and over-the-top opulence that you see throughout the other rooms. So it was, had a different feeling. And then I noticed these figurines up on the mantle over here, this great fireplace. Turned out to be late 18th century, 19th century. And then, of course, the brass plate on that doorway. Clock. Can't go upstairs. It's probably his kid. Spoiled little rich bastard. Here, another bedroom. Some old Stanley steamer trunks, huh? In case old Henry went on a voyage. That's what he was packing his stuff in. That's some pretty fancy luggage. This is the Heliotrope Room, and I'm guessing its motif is taken from the lilac because you can see it on the wall, the fabric wall coverings and the purple carpet. The room was definitely had that softer feel to it. Now I'm walking into the gold room. All the furniture in this room came from Henry Flagler and his son and his son's wife. I like the high ceilings, and what stood out in this room was this cabinet in the back. It was extremely detailed and it just looked really beautiful. So the whole room had this comfort level that was just over the top luxury, and it would have been an enjoyable stay for sure. This is the Louis XV room. You can definitely see the French Rococo style in it. The graceful curved furniture, the floral ornamentations, and elegant colors. This is the pink room. Very interesting room nonetheless. I'm not sure if it'd be the room for me, but has a similar motif along with this unbelievably fine feeling, smooth silk wallpaper. It just reminded me of a room that actually my mother had at one time growing up, and she had that fancy wallpaper as well. and the headboard was definitely a highlight. The blue room, this one I like. This room feels more calmer and more restrained than the rest of the mansion's more elaborate, over-the-top French-inspired style. Plus, it's right off the Privy here. Really cool with its tile floor, the old school fixtures and the handle that you had to pull down, the tile work along the walls there. Interesting. Master bedroom. This is my spot. You liked yellow, I guess. Yellow is a royal power color, and you see it in many rooms in the Palace of Versailles. And indeed, this furniture is all Louis XVI and original to when Flagler was here. Flagler shared this room with his wife, which was unusual for back in that day. And out those windows must have been an incredible view because it had the Portico Entrance and Palm Beach not too far in the distance. Incredible sunsets. This is one of the closets. Before I take a look around in here though, I take a look at one of the bathrooms. There was 2 of these, and it had really modern everything in it. The toilet, the tub, the shower. It even had a telephone. So very large areas for both of them to enjoy their own privacy, as well as having their own closets. And in a moment here, I take a look at some of the things that were in Mary Lily's closet, and it was a lot of definite lace and fine textured type of purses and things, and well beaded. It was pretty impressive, and definitely had the way that they had it laid out in all this closet space. It was real nice. These shoes are Italian. They're worth more than your life. Look how long, how many laces there is. Heading into the silver maple room, and what caught my eye right away was the bed, chest, and fireplace. It had these pre-Raphaelite figurines crafted into it, and it was really ornate. The bed headboard had like musical arts. The footboard had the 4 seasons. It was all indicative of the modern English taste of the early 20th century, which gave this room more of a warmer, calmer feeling to it than the other rooms did to me. Less formal, but yet really luxurious. Yellow Roses room. Sure is, isn't it? Everything's got yellow roses all over it. Indeed, yellow roses were a popular variety back in the Gilded Age, and it was Marcel Neal that designed this wallpaper. Interesting enough, they found a square of paper behind the wash basin in the alcove and reproduced all this from that. Look at this woodwork on this thing. Wow, those must be original stairs too. Morning room. This room was used by Mary Lily, and it provided her a view of Lake Worth. She also used it to entertain bridge parties and practice music and maintain her private correspondence. That spinet piano in the background was original to the room, as well as this phonograph. The whole room was done in a Louis XV style motif, and it was definitely a quiet room for her. Okay, that's a quick run and gun of the first 2 floors of the museum. There's much more to it than I was able to get to. The Keenan Pavilion has his rail car, and it's a Pullman. It's supposed to be spectacular. And one last look here at the dome, and the one thing I can say is just standing underneath it, and even the softest talk resonated throughout the entire room. This guy has a pretty amazing place, that's for sure. Okay, one last look at the property that surrounds this giant 75-room estate. I'm now headed up to Singer Island, where I'm staying for a couple of days, and I'm headed over to Peanut Island to do some snorkeling. It was cool to stop at this museum because it gave me a glimpse into an age that I definitely don't get to see very often. I wish I would have seen the rail car, but we'll catch it next time, and I hope you join me. Thank you again. I've never snorkeled before, but I believe I have, but I was a kid when I did that. Alright, so Hertz was a mess when I got to PBI, and it was chaos. And I got this compass, which I hated. It drives like shit, and let's hope it handles the next 2 days. I'm not going very far, so